Good morning, Friday meditators. Alan here with our regular Friday morning drop-in class. Hope you're well. Good to have you with me. So next week, we're going to start a live Friday class at VI. So you can actually come to the centre next week on Friday morning. They're going to partly open the centre for some classes. So just check which classes, but definitely the Friday morning drop-in meditation will be one of the classes that you can attend live. But also they're going to broadcast the video, like it'll be live streamed as well at VI. So if you don't want to come to the class at VI for some reason, you can still watch it on video. And then you could watch it later as well on YouTube. So that's a step forward. So we might see you at the live class next week. But check the VR website in case there's any last minute changes. That's the plan so far. All right. So we'll, as usual, we'll do the session in two sections. We'll do the first half of the half hour of the 1 hour on mindfulness meditation, and the second half on a analytical meditation, which this week will be on karma. So Lama Yeshe has a very skillful way, a very clever way of describing meditation in very simple terms, but in a very profound way. So quoting from his book, When the Chocolate Runs Out, the heading is Watching the Mind. He says, you don't need to exert yourself to enjoy good meditation. Simply close your eyes, relax, and let your mind just watch. Don't expect good thoughts to arise. Don't expect bad thoughts to arise. Just let go and observe how thoughts come, how thoughts go, how pain comes, how pain goes, how the agitated mind comes and how it goes. Just watch. Externally, relax. Internally, be mindful. When distracting thoughts arise, watch with penetrating mindful wisdom how your ego mind identifies with this thought, how it reacts. Be fully aware. When thought objects appear, let your mind rest with thoughts. When thought objects disappear, let your mind rest without thoughts. And when the memory of a past pleasurable experience arises, observe mindfully how your ego mind identifies with this thought and how it grasps at it. Instead of rejecting the memory, just allow yourself to feel. So when a memory of a past unpleasant experience arises, perhaps bringing guilt or depression, watch with that mindful wisdom. Observe how your ego mind rejects this experience. Recognize ego as ego, attachment as attachment, aversion as aversion. So this advice is about how to deal with the distracting thoughts. And particularly when we move from the breath as the object of meditation to the thoughts, what's happening in the mind as the object of meditation. But we can also use this technique when we've got the breath as the object, but we keep being distracted from the breath. So Lama Yeshe is saying, just observe that distracting thought, and he calls it the ego mind. It's observe the feeling of the thought. So if it's something that we like, we might be thinking of something we're going to do later today and we're looking forward to it. And the mind is sort of grasping at that feeling of pleasure coming. So he says he calls that the ego mind, liking the pleasurable and disliking the unpleasurable. We might just we don't usually want unpleasant thoughts to come in, but they will come in, and they do. And when that happens, notice the ego might say, "I don't like that thought," and that feeling of rejection. He says sometimes it can have guilt. I thought that bad thought, and you can sometimes feel depressed about that thought. So he's saying, watch the feelings with wisdom. It's about the ego grasping at the like, rejecting the don't like, and then come back to no thoughts. So he doesn't want you to get involved with why you like the thought, what the details of the pleasurable experience we're going to have, or details of the unhappy experience we're remembering. I just want you to look at that feeling. So that's good advice from Lama Yeshe. Watching how you're, just a little bit more of the quote, relax, watching how your body reacts to physical feelings. It's the pain when we've got a sore knee or whatever, and psychological states, how your mind reacts when they arise. Don't intellectualize, he says. Relax, let go, be conscious and aware. How does the feeling arise? Where does it come from? So that's good advice for those distracting thoughts. Right, so let's do some practice now. Get comfortable. We might just start with the 9-round breathing practice. Just to refresh your memory, what we do with the 9-round breathing is to clear obstacles to our practice. And we breathe 3 times in through the right nostril and breathe out through the left. 3 times in through the left, out through the right. 3 times in through both, out through both. Now we can actually just visualize we're breathing through one and out the other, or we can actually block the nostril we're not using. Usually it's the index finger, front index and the back, like that. So you can physically block, or you can just visualize that you're blocking the nostril you're not using. So this is said to be a very good way of clearing obstacles to our practice. So we'll start with that once we get comfortable. All right, let's start. Coming comfortable position, sitting, a chair, cross-legged, or lying on the floor, whatever's the most comfortable place where the body can fully relax. Now we begin our practice with the 9-round breathing practice. We first blocking the left nostril, breathing in through the right and out through the left 3 times. Now in through the left and out through the right 3 times. Now in through both nostrils and out through both 3 times. And then resume normal breathing. Beginning with now our motivation and our mental posture. A few moments to feel some appreciation, gratitude of the opportunity to sit with our mind, take care of our mind together. Time to let go of the outside external world, the distracting business of the day. We can leave that outside. feeling and why we're doing the practice. Not just for our own wellness or well-being, but also for the benefit of all those around us. A calm mind will influence positively those around us. Wider motivation is to benefit all sentient beings, all living beings. Now we come into the body, relaxing the body, scanning the body. Feeling the weight of the body on the chair or the floor, making sure it's evenly distributed. Scanning the upper body for any tense or tight joints, thus relaxing the muscles around the shoulders, the neck and the head, face and the eyes. Using the out breath to breathe out any tension we find in the body. Letting go of holding on to the body. Giving ourselves to the gentle pull of gravity into the earth. Utterly relaxing. Time to let go. And now just gradually putting more attention onto the breath, how we breathe, watching the breath. Without any control. It's there, it happens. Now we notice it. How it moves the body as it enters and leaves the body. Perhaps we can feel that cool air entering the nostrils, touching the throat. Perhaps we can feel the warm air leaving the body as we exhale. Perhaps we can feel the abdomen rising and falling with each breath. Perhaps we can feel whether the breath is long or short, a deep breath or a short breath. Perhaps we can notice whether one nostril is more open than the other. Perhaps we notice the gap between the in-breath and the out-breath. The more attention we give to the breath, the more we notice about the breath. And then we check, are we on the breath? Or have we wandered? You see, introspection, alertness, alert for the distracting thought. Once we notice that thought, we let it go and come back to the breath. Just noticing will end the thoughts power, the train of thought. We'll disconnect from that thought. Home to the breath. Then we can stay with the breath for the whole session, or we can just gradually let go of the breath, or partly let go of the breath, and give our attention to what thoughts are in the mind, if any. Perhaps there are no thoughts. We can rest in that quiet stillness with no thoughts. If there are thoughts, we can just check the feeling of those thoughts. Are we attracted? Are we grasping at a pleasurable thought? Pleasurable memory, anticipating a pleasurable experience later today, and then grasping. Just notice that. If it's an unpleasant thought, a bad memory, anxious thought, notice that. Notice that feeling, that sense of wanting to reject that thought. Be aware, just watch. Experience that feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling, and just observe. So just relax and have a stretch, a refreshment, whatever's necessary. So second practice, our analytical meditation, is on karma. So we're actually doing karma. It's a topic in our Discovering Buddhism course on Monday night. So I thought we haven't done karma as a guided meditation on Friday for a long time. So I thought it'd be good to do a meditation on karma. So it's a big topic. So we just pick out certain aspects of the topic, and so in this meditation we look at the 4 principles or laws of karma, and the 4 laws of karma, basically that it's definite, that it increases over time, that if we don't create a cause then there's no result, and that karma is never lost, it never disappears unless we purify the causes of the karma. So again, Lama Yeshe has a very profound and simple way of describing what karma is. So I'll just quote from Lama Yeshe's chapter on, it's called The Indisputable Fact of Karma. He says, our ego grasps at our uncontrolled perception, and our mind just follows along. That entire out-of-control situation is what we call karma. Ego grasping at our uncontrolled perception, what we see or think, and our mind just follows along. That entire out-of-control situation is what we call karma. And then he says, karma is nothing more or less than your experiences of body and mind. The word itself in Sanskrit means causes and their effects. Your experience of mental and physical happiness or unhappiness are the effects of certain causes. And the causes, and they are causes of yet more effects. Your experiences are the effects of certain causes. Those effects are causes of yet more effects. It's like a compounding, as he calls it, out-of-control situation. One action produces a consequence, that's karma. And both Eastern philosophies and science explain that all matter and energy are ultimately interrelated. So if you can understand that, you'll understand how karma works. All existence, internal and external, does not come about accidentally. It comes about because of causes and conditions. Causes and conditions, that really is what karma is all about. Cause and effect. There's no, in Buddhist philosophy, there's no accidents. There's nothing that didn't have a cause. It's the external world, creation of the universe, laws of physics and so on, all about cause and effect. And we apply that to our internal world. It's all subject to causes and effects. So basically it's, if the causes are positive, then the effects are positive. If the causes are negative, the effects are negative. So if we act, and act includes physical actions, speaking and thinking, actions of body, speech and mind, with a positive state of mind, That's usually regarded as a state of mind, for example, with compassion, patience, wisdom. Then those actions will reap positive results in the future. Usually not in this life. The effects of the causes can be postponed, very often postponed. So we don't see the immediate effect when it comes to mental causes and effects. Similarly, negative actions done with a negative state of mind, and the examples are usually anger, jealousy, attachment, where we're holding on to something, doing something for our own selfish concerns, out of ignorance. They're going to have negative effects. So things like killing, stealing, lying, gossiping, these sort of actions will inevitably, unless we purify them, have negative effects. So that's the outline. Of course, we can go much deeper, but that's the background. So in the practice, we actually just consider each of the rules. The karma is definite, for example. Basically, it's still all about causes and effects. The cause will have a definite effect, is basically what the rule means. So they often use the example of a seed. Good example, physical example, if you plant a tomato seed in the garden, you're going to get a tomato. The cause, tomato seed, the effect is a tomato plant. So it can't be that you plant a tomato seed and you get a flower plant, or say you get a mango plant. That's not going to happen. But that's all that rule means. The seed analogy applies to our mental energy as well. The negative actions done with a negative state of mind will have negative effects, positive effects. So we actually just go through this analytical meditation gradually and imbue or integrate the principle with our way of thinking. For example, we can actually think of a good action we've done and rejoice, think of some positive actions we've done. And based on this idea of karma, it's different. We can rejoice. And that's that action that we did to help other beings, for example, will have positive results. We can rejoice in our what we call good merit, good actions. And then again, we can think of actions we've regretted later on, realize they were negative actions, and we can make the decision to avoid those in future. Okay, so this brings back a sense of guarding our actions, being mindful of our actions, knowing that cause and effect is unrelenting, and we watch to avoid as much as possible planting seeds of negative actions, and as much as possible plant seeds of positive actions. So that's all we're doing, and we do that for each of those four principles. All right, so let's do the practice. Get comfortable. Coming into the breath for a few moments to settle the mind. Come into our internal world. So we begin our practice, our meditation on karma, the 4 rules of karma, the 4 principles of karma, by looking first at the first principle of karma, that karma is definite. Whether we believe it or not, karma is definite. The law of cause and effect is definite. This means, as far as our mind goes, is that the mind is the main cause of all our happy experiences and our suffering experiences. Things and activities of body, speech, and mind done with a positive motivation will have a positive effect. If the cause is positive, the effect is positive. For example, actions done with compassion, concern for others, positive cause will have a positive effect on ourselves and others. We can bring to mind some positive actions we've done in the past. Recalling actions we've done to help others. Out of compassion, concern, altruism, we've done these actions. We can think of one or two and rejoice. I do have the seeds of compassion. I do have positive states of mind. These actions have helped and had a positive effect, either in this life or future lives. Karma is definite. Similarly, we've done actions we've regretted later. Maybe actions done out of anger or jealousy or impatience that have harmed ourselves and perhaps others, and we regret. We regret, and we can resolve to abstain from doing negative actions as much as we can in the future, knowing the law of karma. The law of karma is definite. Acting mindfully, guarding the doors of body, speech, and mind. Be mindful of my action because karma is definite. Every moment of our life and guard against creating the seeds of negative causes, and as much as possible planting positive causes on our mind stream. Second rule or law of karma is that karma increases. A small seed can produce a huge tree. One tiny acorn, if planted in the right conditions, can create a mighty oak tree. Over time, similarly, the seeds of our actions planted on our mind stream will increase, whether positive or negative. Making a small offering, for example, to a holy being, to our guru, to Buddha, can have a long, large effect on our mind stream, increasing over time. Similarly, creating a negative action on our mind stream can increase over this life and future lives, will increase. Second rule of karma, karma increases. There's positive and negative action. We can purify negative actions to prevent them increasing. That's why we do practices such as Vajrasattva, making offerings, prostrations. Third principle of karma is that if there is no cause, there can be no result. No action, no result. So this means that if we haven't planted the cause for a particular result in our mind stream by actions of body, speech and mind, we can't experience the effect. This makes us responsible for our actions. So we're having a problem, going through some sort of suffering, difficulty. We can take a wise, considered approach, remembering the third principle of karma. If I hadn't planted the cause of this suffering, I wouldn't be experiencing it. We can take responsibility, not just be a victim, blaming some outside cause, outside person, outside condition. Similarly, if we're having success in our life, wealth, good health, good relationships, success in our practice, Dharma practice, then it's because we planted the causes. We can rejoice. Our previous good actions have caused this good result. Example, our body. Our human body is so rare, so precious. We created the causes in previous lives for this body Incredible amount of good causes, good merit. We can rejoice. And when we see others experiencing good conditions, we can rejoice. They've created the causes of that success. This is a responsible state of mind, mature, wise. Fourth law of karma is that karma is never lost. It doesn't fade away. It doesn't disintegrate unless we purify it. So focusing particularly on our negative actions, unless we purify these actions, then they will reap negative results in this or future lives. So this doesn't mean that we are our negative actions. We don't identify them with them. They're like clouds in the sky. Our ignorance, our attachment, our anger, whatever it is cause these. And we can take steps to diminish and then eliminate these negative emotions. There are ways. We have means. Using the four opponent powers, regret, reliance, using the effective remedy, and then resolving not to commit these negative actions again, we can purify our actions, our negative actions, so they don't reap negative results. There's no negative karma that can't be purified. Karma is never lost unless we purify. And there's no negative actions that can't be purified. So the conclusion of this practice, 4 rules of karma, is that as much as possible, understanding the laws of cause and effect, as much as possible, we avoid negative actions of body, speech, and mind, which have negative effects. As much as possible, using mindfulness, alertness, we create positive causes for actions based on compassion, wisdom, having positive effects. Second conclusion is if we're having suffering experiences, difficulties, problems, take responsibility. We understand this is the effect of karma. If there wasn't any action, there'd be no result. No cause, no effect. Third conclusion is that karma can be changed. No karma can't be purified. So we, as much as possible, purify our negative actions using the 4 opponent powers. making offerings, prostrating, regretting. Vajrasattva practice. Many purifying methods are available. Or problems caused by the mind can be cured by the mind. It's in our hands. So we can just dedicate any positive merit from this practice towards our understanding of karma and living according to the rules of karma, having that understanding. More specifically, dedicating using Lam Zopa's specific dedication for the coronavirus. However many sick and sentient beings there are, may they quickly be freed from all sickness. May all sickness, without exception, of all transmigrating beings never occur again. Due to the merits of 3 times collected by me and all the numberless Buddhas, all the numberless sentient beings, may all wars or sickness or famine, torture, poverty and economic problems in the world, and all dangers of earth, water, fire and wind be pacified immediately. May perfect peace and happiness prevail in everybody's hearts and lives. May Buddha Dharma last for a long time. May sentient beings in this world meet the Buddha Dharma and achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible. Dedicating to that. So that's the practice today. Great to be with you. Have a great day, great week, and look forward to seeing you next week, either at the centre or online, whatever fits into your schedule. Okay, take care, all the best. Stay well.